When the doubt gets loud, but answer that call. Vision ain't real till you grind at speed, so breathing deep. Then call the damn leads. Call the damn leads.
Hey, welcome back to Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drewbie Wilson. With more than 2 decades in sales, I've seen it, been through it, heard about it. Now I'm bringing it to you, my favorite people in the world, the sales community. Because let's be honest, it's the greatest job on earth. Doesn't matter where you come from, what background, what personality type, you can create an amazing life in sales. Today's guest, no stranger, I'd like to welcome Ryan Clark to the show. How are you, sir?
Good, man. Doing great. It's a nice sunny day out today. I'm stoked.
That is what I like to hear. I want to jump right in, man. I want to hear your crazy sales story.
Yeah. So, it's a pretty good story. So it's basically the story of how I ended up here in Rio de Janeiro. So I'm half Brazilian, grew up in the US my whole life. But what happened was about 7-8 years ago or so, I was running a video production company, had a couple of my best friends in it. We're like, I guess you call it, peas and carrots. We're like doing everything together. We're in college. We're partying. We're in school. We're, making videos, doing weddings and festivals and all of these things, just, doing everything together. And, and I thought that was going to be the thing that, the path my life was going to take. I was going to do this forever. We're going to travel the world and just have a great time doing this. But we were kind of struggling on the sales side. That was my job, was to be doing the sales, and we skirted by for a couple of years, but we were struggling pretty hard. So one day, the guys sat me down and they said, "Hey, Ryan, we don't want to do this anymore." It's like, "Oh, damn, don't want to do this anymore. You want to stop?" Like, okay, I mean, why? Like, okay, well, whatever. He's like, "Well, yeah, we don't want to do this anymore, but we're going to go start our own thing. We've been thinking about this for about a month. We've got a name for it and everything." I'm like, "What the fuck? So you don't just not want to do this, but you just don't want to do it with me?" It's like, damn. So that that really hurt. But it really made me think and reflect too. It was like, well, they could have been helping me with the sales, but ultimately, I guess that was my responsibility. So anyway, that's just a precursor to what happened next. So then I had to figure out, what am I going to do? What am I going to do next really with my life here? And so I got a job at a grocery store, and I thought, okay, I'm going to get this job at a grocery store, and I can't just get another job. I got to find a way to make this entrepreneur life work. What am I going to do here? So I thought, well, I am great at marketing. It is what I've been studying. It's what we did with the video production company. It's what I studied in school and all of that. So I'll start being, I can coach marketing. But actually, so I was doing that, and I spent a couple years building up this audience. And I did all the things that you're supposed to be doing when it comes to, building up your audience on social media. I was commenting, 50 times a day, and having all of these coffee chats and just doing all of this stuff. And it really was having very little success. I maybe got like one client who made this great 4K deal. I'm like, wow, this is it. I finally made it here. But really having no success until I had a conversation with a lady who was a career coach, and she just floated this idea. She said, well, what if you did something where you helped people create 30 days of content, and you did it in a few hours? And I thought, that sounds like a pretty good idea. So then I messaged all of these people that I'd been talking to for almost a couple of years. I said, "Hey, got this thing. I'm calling it a content in an afternoon session. Basically, in a few hours, I'll help you create a content calendar, and I'll help you create a couple posts, and it'll be real cheap." So in a matter of a few days, I booked about 10 calls for people that were interested in this. I was like, holy shit, nice. So then I get on the first couple calls. I sold it. I just started selling for $500, and the first person said yes. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Then the next person, another $500, like, yes. Like, oh damn, okay, maybe I'll raise the price. Let's try $750. Next one, yes. And then, a couple no's, and then like, yes. I'm like, okay, let's try $1,000. It's like, yes. Like, what the fuck is happening? And so this whole time, so I basically made like 10K in a matter of a couple weeks. And those 2 years that I had spent at home in my garage doing boxing workouts, staring at this Brazilian flag so I could go move to Brazil, and working at the grocery store, 8 hours a day, and then trying to build this business 5-6 hours a day. It all came into this 2 weeks where I finally made enough money so that I could move to Brazil. And then my business, has just been basically going ever since.
It's so wild how we have those seasons where it's like everything is terrible, nothing is working, I cannot figure this out. And then you pivot just slightly and you're like, I'm going to try a different method, right? You have a conversation with someone, you read something, you hear it in a podcast like this, and you go, maybe, just maybe. And all you got to do is start asking for those sales, have the conversation, start reaching out to people. There are folks out there that would love to solve the problem that you can help them solve, but it starts with making them aware that you can help them solve that problem. And so like you build this business, you start helping people put this content calendar strategy together. Where does it go from there? Like, how did you really turn it into a full-blown opportunity without underselling yourself there? Because $500 for an afternoon seems kind of cheap to me.
Yeah, definitely was pretty cheap there. But this all led to what I call now the paid proposal strategy. And it's basically, so I spent a lot of time after that still every time I wanted to make a sale. So I went from, just content creation to lead generation and helping people with their sales funnels and all these kinds of things. And when I try to work with clients, kind of the traditional thing is, hey, you want to make a high ticket sale. You want to get something that's, $5K or $10K, and do all you can, get the right leads and have a perfect sales presentation, have a great pitch and think about all the objections and follow-ups and do all of this stuff to make this real nice, big, juicy deal. And, but I've just kind of time and time again, I had this big buildup, weeks of talking to someone, and then I get through the whole pitch in the whole hour, and then it's just the rejection, just the no again and again and again, and it's the price, and it's not the right time, and it's like, yeah, there's all these things that I'm thinking about. What do I tweak? What do I adjust? How can I do this? But then I thought back again to, well, damn, that content in an afternoon session, that $500, even that $1,000, it was so easy for them to say yes to. I got so many people. And then I had a couple of those clients that continued to work with me more. So I thought, well, let's try that again. Let's do it but let's tweak it a little bit. How can we make this offer so that not only are they going to easily buy, but then they're also going to upsell and continue to work with me? So that became the basis of this paid proposal, where you're solving a front end problem that's really getting something that they need. It's easily, it's a low barrier to entry kind of cost. And it's something that doesn't take a long time to actually implement. Say you want to make it 2-3 weeks. But then part of that is you give them a 3 to 12 month game plan or whatever that is. So that it's, hey, you give them the thing, and then you give them the 3 to 12 month plan of how to implement the thing. So then you say, all right, man, you got the thing, you got the plan, you can take this and run with it, or you can get my help to implement this game plan that we just created together. So that just massively, that started working, getting more sales and getting lots of upsells from that as well.
Yeah, that's really, it's really smart in the way that you structure the idea around give them some really good low cost value on the front side, and then help them understand where does that momentum go from there. And so what I'd be curious, from the messaging perspective, like how do you make sure people understand on the front side that they're solving that big problem and still being aware that there's more to come after that?
Well, I guess it can come in a couple different ways. So like from a messaging perspective, we could say, I think a big thing that people do wrong when it comes to messaging, let's say in terms of a sales funnel, a lot of times sales funnels, they don't work. There's low conversions, or maybe you're getting people that, they sign up and they don't actually show up, or they don't want to buy, they're not serious, or maybe they just they get onto a masterclass, they don't want to do the next thing, is because they don't have Well, it's what we call the funnel first fallacy. Really, they build this funnel first because they say, oh, Tony Robbins' funnel looks like this. Russell Brunson's funnel, it kind of looks like this. And he does a webinar and he structures his page like this. And, I'm kind of a marketing guy too. So let's use some of the language that they do and do all that. And so they kind of build that funnel and they use messaging that comes from lots of other different similar people. And so it ends up being really kind of generic messaging in a funnel that is disjointed, that doesn't talk to each other. It's the same kind of, hey, you have this problem, I have this solution. It's like a shouting kind of match. And the message is just the same. The ad is the same as the landing page, is the same as the masterclass or whatever. So it doesn't have a rhythm that makes people move. So when we think about sales messaging in terms of this funnel, we're thinking of let's say 3 core things when it comes to a funnel narrative. So on the front end, we want to use buyer angles that are speaking to solution aware prospects. So like we want to talk to the people that are in research mode right now, where they're actively thinking like, hey, what is the thing that's going to help me? And how is this thing going to be different and better than all of those other things that I've tried before? So what that's going to do, it's going to talk to people that have intent. Then they're going to think, oh, wow, yeah, I have tried, if I'm a salesperson, I have tried just like all the like the meditation and the woo-woo stuff, and that didn't really do anything. That didn't actually give me any structure. Or yeah, I did try listening to the sales guru, and he gave me all these generic templates, and that didn't work. So and didn't give me the actual energetic stuff I need. So they're calling that out. That sounds interesting. How's this going to be different? And then on the next level, then we want to talk about the root cause. So when they get to that landing page, when we talk about the masterclass, we don't just want to say, hey, here's the solution to your thing. You want to be better at sales. Here's how you're going to get better at sales. It's on this masterclass with our methodology. We're going to help you understand the real reason why all of those things that you've tried haven't worked, or why those other solutions you may be considering, why they won't work. So now we're getting to this level of, oh, this guy really knows what he's talking about. He's like, yeah, that those things haven't worked for me. Oh, I get why that isn't going to work. And now I'm going to understand the real reason why I've been blocked and, whatever cool value they're going to give me. So then on that masterclass, then that leads to, well, what is the solution? And then that's what we call your big idea. So it's that now that you're one of the only few that have described the real root cause reason why shit's not working, now you're going to have one of the few unique approaches. You have one of the only approaches that's actually going to help them solve that problem. So then that pulls them through there. And then, and then you can sell that signature program. And then on the back end, we have your content. We have your content pillars that are, that are linked to those buyer angles at the front, so that, because 50% of sales happen on the back end in the list. So then you're continuing this kind of cycle where you're linking and then you're promoting a new masterclass every month with a different angle. So that's kind of how we see the movement. Yeah.
It is. It's interesting. It's kind of like, there's a lot of different ways you can get them there. It's just a determination of like, what's the flow and the process that works for you, because every marketer, every program is a little bit different, and every audience is just a little bit different. And I love how you mentioned, people will get stuck in kind of that generic, kind of like everybody else, which is why they're struggling to convert, because it's the same thing as everybody else and it doesn't have that uniqueness. And I think that's the thing about marketing that's so important is layering in that uniqueness. And so, for you, like you've created a lot of these frameworks, you're creating these methodologies, as you mentioned. I saw one called the Cheetah Method, and just the name alone makes me curious. Like, what is that all about?
Oh yeah, man, the Cheetah Method. That's what started the whole lead gen game for me, bro. The Cheetah Method. And it's like, isn't it crazy how stuff like these, especially with outreach, cold outreach, it's like things work 1 year and then it's like the next is just not working anymore. So, I mean, the principles behind the Cheetah Method still work, but to be honest, I don't use this method anymore. I have a way more God, I'm working my ass off to get cold leads converting here. It used to be so easy. But so the Cheetah Method the principles are the same. It's basically, you want to give value first. So this is a DM method. And what I do in linked to the content idea was really, I'd I mean, have to have had great targeting from the beginning. You know, I'm working with coaches. I'm looking for who is most likely to want to use content to actually market themselves. So I'm thinking, do they have at least 3,000 people in their following? Are they posting content consistently? Doing some research. Does it look like they have some kind of program or something that they're selling? And then I would use Sales Navigator to actually filter by people who are active in the last 30 days. So I do always, to me, that's probably could be the most important thing is the targeting, is talking to the right people. Because
amen.
It's just, yeah, amen. It's like you could have, I mean, the message is important, but that's probably the biggest thing I've learned. It's really just about talking to the right people who are in the right stage of the buyer journey, who actually want to do something. So anyway, yeah, you're looking for the right people. And then what I'd say, so, hey, nice to connect. Saw that was a great last post that you did. I'm wondering if you've ever tried any story seller posts before. You know, I feel like they could, that's something that could work really well for you. So the idea here is the story seller post. So it's something that I'm using a mechanism of an idea that is something that you don't quite know what it is, but you still kind of get the idea that it could be valuable. So like, okay, sells, story, a story seller post. I do post, this person at least like acknowledged something that I did. So it's probably, this isn't automated. They're saying it could work for me. It's like, okay, no, what is that? What is a story seller post? And I say, oh, well, it's a kind of post where it allows you to, it tells like your personal story, allows you to connect with the audience and help them get to know you, while at the same time helping them understand like what you sell and them wanting to actually buy from you. So the reason I said that is that's a big problem with creators. They're always thinking, well, how do I create content that actually moves the needle, that actually sells? So basically that was the second paragraph, is the explanation, the giving more of the selling points of it's how you connect yourself personally to the sale, helps you get sales. And they're like, and then at the end I'd say, if that makes sense. And then they say, yeah, that makes sense. And I say, okay, great. Well, hey, if this is totally inappropriate, just let me know. But if you'd like, we could do like a 30-minute coffee chat where I could show you exactly how you could create these kinds of posts and implement it into your content strategy. No pitch or sale or anything like that. Just trying to start the conversation here. But if not, no worries. And I'm telling you, man, that's exactly how I would do it, with the exact conversations, the exact responses. Just, have you tried this? No, what is that? It's this. If that makes sense, yes. Hey, if you want, we can get on a call. Okay. And I'd maybe send out 30 of these a day, and sometimes I'd book like 10 calls a week doing this. But that's it. That's the cheetah method. It's getting in there like a cheetah.
It's beautiful because it fits so well with calling the damn leads, right? So many people are like, oh, I'm afraid to call. And it's like, just start the conversation. That's all that matters. So many people are so hung up on getting rejected or being told no. And it's like, how can you start a conversation in a way that makes the other person feel valued, feel heard, and feel appreciated for their time? Because it's the most valuable thing that any of us have, is our time. And, what I'd be curious from your perspective on this, right? Because I think sales professionals, marketers, there's kind of the leaders, and then there's, as you frame it, the messiahs, the people that do this stuff better than anyone else on the planet, that truly create a movement. So what's the difference between like a market leader and a market messiah?
Mm-hmm. So the market messiah, this a lot of people are like, man, that's kind of bold. Call yourself the market messiah, or you're trying to help people become messiahs. Like, what does that mean exactly? And yeah, on the one hand, it's like, we want to help people be that person that, not only do they buy from you and see you as an expert, but they praise your name. They tell all their friends about you. They refer you. You are someone who's creating a community around these people that are buying from you and your pool of clients. And you're someone that's creating content. You're someone where your face is out there, where you're sharing your beliefs and your opinions. So it's not just that, you're leading in in the value that you can provide, but you're that kind of person that is really like, wow, like this is the kind of person that I can feel a part of their mission, that I feel a part of their vision, that I want to be around them. I like what they think. I like what they believe. So this is the way that I'm trying to do marketing, and that I'm trying to share with others is this kind of whole person approach to, yes, being great at your job and providing amazing value and helping your customers and clients be as successful as possible. But I think in this day and age, especially with AI and people being able to pump out ChatGPT articles left and right, like it's coming down to trust. It's coming down to, there are a million options out there of people that are helping me. They all say that they can help me do the same exact thing, but it's just like, who do I like? Repetition of content. Who do I like? So we're trying to create these kinds of people, I think.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about creating those raving fans, right? The people that will scream your name, that will tell people about you shamelessly, that just want to support you, that when you start getting that done correctly, oh man, things just really start taking off in your business. And while we could probably nerd out on this all day, Ryan, I want to be respectful of your time. How do we come find you, follow you, check out more of your content? I'm sure this is just the tip of the iceberg on stuff that you can share with us.
Yeah, well, if you really want, you can come down to Rio de Janeiro. I live by Copacabana Beach here, so we can have a little beachside chat and sip a caipirinha, eat some barbecue, or, it's a little too far, then hey, Drewbie, come on, man. There's lots of sales, marketing opportunity out here. I don't know if you're single or not either, but hey. Yeah. So anyway, so that or LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my place. That's where I've got all my content and links, and that's the best way to help people get to know me.
Love it. Well, you guys know what to do. Make sure you go find Ryan on LinkedIn, send him a message, tell him that you appreciated the show. Share this episode on social media. Tell the world about it. Maybe you know somebody who's like, they kind of suck at this process and like they need this. You don't have to tell them they suck, but send it to them. Say, hey, I heard this. It made me think of you, right? It's a value-first approach to building a relationship with someone. And then go leave us a review, subscribe, check out all the other episodes. We have tons of amazing guests, just like Ryan, sharing their perspective around sales, marketing, growth. And maybe you've got your own sales story. I'd love to have you on the show. Head over to callthedamnleads.com/podcast. Send us all your details. Let's get you scheduled in. While you're there, grab a hat, grab a keychain, wristbands, shirt, swag, something. Share the movement, because you know what to do. Go pick up the phone. Go call the damn leads. We'll see you guys next time.
When the doubt gets loud, but answer that call. Vision ain't real till you grind at speed, so breathing deep. Then call the damn leads. Call the damn leads.